Okay guys, welcome back. I just want to post this wee one up. Hopefully it'll not be too long and it'll pick your attention. In the last video I put up there, which was part 2 of the ZZR 1200 cam install and the shims, etc. I had pointed out there in the workshop manual a couple of things. I'd pointed out what the specification was for the exhaust clearance, which was 0.18 to 0.24, and that the inlet one was 0.13 to 0.19. I'd also highlighted that that it had actually said in the workshop manual here where to take that measurement from, and you can clearly see here, like I said in the last video, that the place to put your feeler gauge is between the rocker arm, the underside of the rocker arm, and the top of the shim. I'd also said that it actually had mentioned that in the actual manual itself, using a thickness gauge, which is a feeler gauge, measure the valve clearance between the rocker arm and the shim. And I had also said, we're using the official Kawasaki ZRX 1200 service manual, so it's not like it's a Haynes or anything like that. This is the actual official Kawasaki manual. And someone had asked me, who's a friend on the ZRX Owners Association forum, because a lot of people, like I mentioned, some people had suggested, you put your feeler gauge in there between the top of the rocker arm and the underneath of the the cam, and that's where they've been taking their measurement from. And like I say here, the manual's saying that that's not correct. And a friend on the Owners Association had asked me in the comments of the last video, and in the also on the forum where I have a thread running on this build at the moment, that he, like a lot of people, have actually put their feeler gauge in there, and that's where they've been taking their measurement from. And he was just wondering, and is there a difference? Is that measurement the same if you take it in there as it would be if you take it in there? Because a lot of people have maybe done that, and they're a wee bit sort of thinking now, well, look, I have been putting my feeler gauge in there, and maybe my cam shim clearance, or valve shim clearance is not correct. Could I double check that? And that's the purpose of this video. I'm going to, just before I button up this engine build, I'm going to check the measurement. I'm going to put a feeler gauge in there, check that measurement, and put the feeler gauge in there and check that measurement, and compare the two while pistons 1 and 4 are up to top dead center, which they currently are on the motorbike engine. And so I'm going to do that and just double check those measurements. Now, here I have a very comprehensive set of feeler gauges, many sizes on that one. And then the feeler gauge that I normally would use would be these ones, because it's not as bulky to carry all this here and start taking them apart and one thing and another. So I have dismantled this feeler gauge set and set aside the ones that I would normally be using for to take this valve shim clearance. Now, there are some things that even no matter what the feeler gauge size, it goes, say, from 0.0 on with these ones here that I've segregated out of the other ones that are, you know, not applicable to what we're doing here. I have say you've got, you know, any of them, you know, you've 0.15 millimeter, and then it goes up to 0.18. What happens if the clearance is 0.17 or 0.16? And likewise here, 0.18 to 0.20. What happens if the clearance it's not? I mean, this is too tight, or sorry, this is too loose to go in, but 0.20. Well, it's going in, but you know, I mean, you kind of, or it's not getting in at all, but 0.18 is a little bit loose. It could be 0.19, it could be 0. You know, or even the 0.20 to 0.23. What if it's 0.22 or 0.21? So you're generally kind of, you know, going between the two, and you know, I mean, if you're wanting to get within spec, because as I was saying there, the exhaust is 0.18 to 0.24. So you're going to either try 0.18, and if it goes in, you're within spec. But if it's, you know, if it goes in and it's a little bit loose, you know, I mean, and then you'll try 0.20, and if that goes in, that's great. You're sort of more or less in between. But it could be a wee bit more than 0.20. It could be 0.21 or 0.22. If 0.23 won't go in. So, but anyway, that's purely by the way. I'm going to try with this range of gauges and set some together here. For example, I could set a 0.13 with a 0.08, and those two together would give me, what would they give me? My maths, 0.21. Or if I set a 0.13 with a 0.09, a 0.09, that would give me an accurate size of 0.22. Which is between there and there, both of those. So anyway, I'll try them in and see what as accurate as I can get to the size that it is in both the correct position, which is underneath the rocker to the top of the shim, and then I'll try and repeat that in there and see what that size is compared to that size. All right, guys. Okay, guys, so let's try this here accurately. On the last video, I showed that this one here, let's see what we've got here, 0.23. Now that's still under spec because it's 0.24 is the maximum. But anyway, or still within spec, I mean. Let's see. So 0.23 will not go in there. All right. Won't go in. There it is. Oh, my hand just keeps getting in the way here, and I don't want it to. I want you to be able to see that. Right. Okay. We'll do it this time. So 0.23 won't go in there. And 0. Like I was saying in the other video, 0.18, which is that. Again, that's just within spec, but 0.18, like I said in the other video, is too loose for there. So I opted for 0.20, which is what I said it was, and 0.20 will go in. So I just called it 0.20, Okay, but that still will slide in. That'll still slide in there, 0.20. So I wonder what that actually is. It's not 0.23, and 0.20, although it'll go in, is it might be a wee bit more. So let's go 0.13 and 0.08, right? Which is what, about 0.21? You can do the maths. That'll still go in. 0.21 will still go in. That is 0.13. You see that? And 0.08. What about 0.09 along with 0.13? That would bring it at around about what? 0.22. Let's see if that'll go in. Oh yeah, that's perfect there. Look, that's just dragging a little bit as that's going in. So 0.22 is the size. Where's that 0.23 again? I had it. Yep. And 0.23, which is there, won't go in. All right, that won't go in, but 0.2, it's 0.22. And again, that is perfect because the loosest spec it can be is 0.24. But let's see if that 0.22, which is what that is there, will go in there between the cam. This is where a lot of people taking their measurement. No way. Absolutely no way will that go in there. But it'll go in there. See that? 0.22 is what that is. And that's perfect. 0.22 won't go in there. What about 0.21? Which is actually a little bit loose for there. But no. Won't go in there either. See that? But it'll certainly go in there. What about 0.20? Which we've established will go in there because it's actually the right size there for 0.22. But let's see, 0.20. Where are we? You see that? 0.20. Try 0.20 in there. No, it won't go in there. So what on earth is that size? Will 0.18 go in there? Have I got one there? It's 0.18. 0.13. Yeah, 0.18. Which is definitely very loose for there. Will 0.18 go in there? Yeah, 0.18 will go in there. And it drags a little bit. What about 0.19? Would 0.19 go in there? So we'll go for a... let me see that there. That's a 0.10 plus 0.09. Which will make that 0.19. Let's see if what 0.19 would go in there, because we know what 0.18 will go in there, but 0.20 won't. That's tight. That is tight. 0. Can I get that to go in? I can, but it's a bit of a... well, okay. Well, at a push, we'll call that, oh, you couldn't see that at all in my hand. Right, there. It'll go in, but it's, could we get it to go in? It's a wee bit tight. To be honest, it's a wee bit tight. It'll go in. Look, it'll go in, but it really does drag quite a bit. But even if you were to be conservative and say, right, we'll call that at what, 0.19, but yet under here is 0.22, because 0.09 plus 0.10, that's what you're taking to go in there. I would actually think that that's more accurately 0.18. Let's see, we'll go 0.18. There's 0.18 there. That's, I can just feel that wee catch on that. So there's a difference between 0.18 there, but down here, where you're supposed to take it, it's 0.22, because that is there plus those two, which is 0.13 and 0.09. Right, that go in there? Yeah, look, see that? But there's absolutely no way in this world that's going to go in there. All right, so there is a difference. If you took your cam clearance measurement up there, there's a difference between there and there where you're supposed to take it. And you see that yourself. If I was to say that there was 0.18 and that there was 0.22, so that's there's quite a bit of, you know, I mean, there's quite a bit of difference there. And even if you were to sort of be generous and say, well, we could really at a push 0.19 in there, even the difference between 0.19 and 0.22, it's still going to be too tight if you put your took your measurement up there. All right, guys. So anyway, I just thought I would post that up and just clear it all up before I move on to buttoning up this engine. All right, lads. All right. Thanks a million. All the best. Bye. Oh, and before I go, I just wanted to point out, in the previous video, I had said that, you know, all of the shims between when they were first taken out and compared with how they were replaced had to be changed, apart from one, which was this one here that I said was a 2.65, given me a 0.15 clearance, and I had said that I was going to double check it, and I did double check it, and it actually it had to be changed too. So I changed out from a 2.65 shim to a 2.60 clearance, and I got 0.18 clearance. So that puts every single one of them well within spec. That was that one there. So they're all done. They're all within spec, and everything's sorted out and ready for the next stage. All right, guys. Thanks a million once again. Okay.